Staad Pro course. In the previous class, we had worked on multimodal frame, and from this class on fourth, we'll be looking into how to model a structure in Staad Pro. Okay, so before we know how to start modeling a structure in Staad Pro, there are a couple of tools that you need to know. Okay, to model a structure in Staad Pro. Okay, there are a couple of tools that you can use to make your work easier. All right, are the couple of tools that we generally use to model is first one is the node method. Okay. Uh, I call it node method. Basically, what this means is what we were doing so far. Okay, so far, whenever we were working in X, Y, and Z directions, we were just giving node values over here. Manually, we were inputting all the values and we were getting some node points here and then we were using a beam to join them. Okay, so if I have to talk about it, uh, what we have done so far is, let me just use this, just a second. This was our Y axis. This was our X axis. Uh, Let be this one. And this was our Z axis so far. All right. So in the first case, what we did was, let me just note them down over here as x-axis. Okay. In this direction was x. In this direction was z. Okay. And this direction was y-axis. All right. So I'll just create a copy of this. Okay, so the very first exercise that we did, in that exercise, what would we do? We just got here, we just gave 0 comma 0 comma 0 here and we got a node point, and then we gave 5 or 6 over here and we got another node point. So this is basically what the node method is all about. We just give node points here, manually input all the node points, and we then join them with the help of a beam right here. We just join them like this. Okay, and this is how we were doing our structure. Now the thing about this one is that whatever values we were giving, it was only in the x direction. Okay, our beams were just in one direction and just giving values only in the x direction. All right, we were not giving values in y direction. So this is what we do. The very first exercise was this. Okay, in the second exercise, what did we do? We tried to create a portal frame. To create a portal frame, what we had to do was we had to get values in both the directions. Okay, in x as well as in y direction. So by doing this, what did we do? We were working in two axes. Okay, we were working in x-axis as well as in y-axis. Basically, whatever values we were giving the values in x and y plane. Okay, x and y. Just a second, x and y plane. Whatever values we were giving, they were in x and y plane basically. Now, in the third step, the previous two exercises, this is what we do. But this is what we did. In this third exercise, what we're going to do is we are going to create a 3D diagram. Okay, something that will look like this. All right, completed. We have to give the values in all the three axes for this to work properly. Okay, so we're not just working with x and y plane. We'll be working with x and y plane as well as x and z plane. Okay, even y and z plane. So all the three planes will come into the picture here, because we will have nodes where we'll have nodes in x axis as well, y axis as well, and even the z axis will have nodes. Okay, so this is what we're going in the third exercise. Okay, now coming back to this method, so first one is the node method. Nodal method is what I call it. So basically I'm just giving node points manually and I'm inputting all the node points and we're getting the values. Okay, but that is not practical. It is not practical if you want to do a complete building. Just imagine trying to draw a plane, you know trying to draw a plan here. Okay, this is the view for the plan view. Okay, just imagine trying to give values in x direction, z direction also, and then y direction. You cannot sit and input all the node points manually. It will take just too long of a time. Okay, so to overcome this, so to circumvent this shortcoming, the system has another tool in it. The Staad Pro has another tool in it that is called as translation repeat. Okay, translation repeat. Let me show it to you. So translation repeat is nothing but this tool. Okay, by using this tool very quickly, you can get all the node points, all the beams and everything. Okay, this is basically called as links because we're not giving any property to it. If I were to show you in the 3D diagram, just a second, see, we cannot call it a beam. It's just a link here right now. Once we give it a property, it will give a proper shape. Okay, it'll have a proper material to it. Okay, it'll have a proper dimension to it. Right now, it is just a link. Okay, so that's what, if you just open up and show it to you, see, this is what we call as link steps and everything we have here, spacing we have here, default spacing, everything we have here. So I'll explain to you what is this, what is renumber B and everything. Okay, don't worry about that. So that is what is called as translation repeat. Okay, and third one is nothing but structure wizard. All right, so where do we get this structure wizard? All you have to do is you have to go to geometry and click on run structure wizard. Okay, so when you come to this, I'll explain to you how you can use all this and everything. Basically, the system has got some default frames, okay, default truss, and many other default shapes already inputted into the system. Okay, all you have to do is select them and then just import them from this structure wizard into your Staad Pro software. In the next class, we'll be discussing about this part, this particular tool. So in this particular class, we'll working with translation repeat. Okay, because modal method we have already seen for the first and second exercise. Okay, for drawing beams, continuous beams and everything, and for drawing single portal frame and multi-portal frame. Okay, now we'll be working with this in X, Y, and Z direction. So we will go for what? We'll go for translation repeat. Okay, so let me just give it one more 15, and let me just give enter, and let me just draw a beam like this. Okay, so now if I want to let me just go for isometric view. Now this is my 0 comma 0 comma 0. If you don't know that, just if you want to select this and you're not able to select this, please select your node cursor first and then go and select the node. So, okay, so this node is basically what? 0 comma 0 comma 0 value. Okay, now I have given values in x direction and we are getting it. Okay, if I give values in plus z direction, I'll get in this direction. If I give it in minus z direction, it will go in that direction. Alright, it is up to us. Wherever, however you want, you can draw this. And if you give values in y, it will go upward direction. We have seen in portal frame. We have already worked in x and y plane portal frame. Okay, so now I want to replicate this particular beam and node arrangement 5 or 6 times in z direction. Alright, at 5 meters interval. How do I do it? So let me go for the plan view again. This is the plan view, the third one from the last. Select the whole thing. Okay, now instead of going here and again putting 0, okay, and in the z direction I'm giving some value, say 5 or 6. Okay, so I'm getting a node, then giving 5. Okay, then again giving 6 here because I want it to be 6 meters in z direction, then giving 10 and then giving 6 again. Okay, I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. So this is going to take a very long time. Okay, one by one I have to come and one by one I have to give values like this to get these node points. This is taking too longer time. So let me just select this. I have to go for node cursor again and delete this. So there has to be a way by using which I can do this method, this work much faster. Okay, that's where translation repeat comes into the picture. So I'll just select this whole thing. I'll go to translation repeat. Now it is asking me in which direction I want my nodes to replicate. Okay, whatever I've selected, in which direction I want to replicate. See, X is there, Y is there, Z is there. I want to repeat it in Z direction. Okay, so let me just make it isometric from here. In Z direction I want. So I'll change the direction to Z. Then this is asking me spacing. So I can give it 6 spacing. Okay, and asking me number of steps. I'll give number of steps as 3. All right, and then I'll click on OK. So what is happening? By default, I'm getting all them replicated even along with the beams because beams are already there. Okay, but I want to go ahead and join this. Now this is again is going to take me a long time. Okay, one by one I have to go node to node and I have to join this. So is there any way I can get even the beams also when I'm replicating this? The answer is yes. Let me just do Control Z. Again I'll do one thing. I'll select this whole thing. Okay, I'll go and click on translation repeat again. I'll go to my Z direction because I want the beams to be replicated in Z direction, and I'm going to give spacing as 6. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the number of steps as 3. All right, then I'm going to click on link steps. Okay, look very carefully. I'm clicking on what? Link steps. All right, and then I'm going to click on OK. When I do that, the beams will automatically connect here, or what you call them as links. Okay, once we give them property, we can properly call them as beams. All right, so you can see here it has automatically corrected it. Now, if I had to do this by node method, by inputting every single thing one by one, just imagine how much time would have taken me to do this. All right. So if I want to go in y direction now, see one more thing the students generally have an issue with is they're always go in the positive direction. That is not necessary. You can even go in the negative direction and give the value. What I mean by that is, let me just select this, go for translation repeat. I'll go in z direction again. Okay, and instead of giving spacing as 5, I'll give the spacing as -5. To get a difference, I'll give this as -3. All right, I'm giving this minus 3, and I'll do link steps as well, and I click on OK. See, I can go even the negative direction. There is no hook or crook rule, which is telling us we have to always go in positive values only. We can even go in negative and get this. Now, why am I telling you about this is because, see, when we have done this plan, this is basically our plinth level. Generally, this is our plinth level, and beneath the plinth we'll get what? Foundation, right? So to get the foundation, I have to get the value negative. So let me select this. Sorry, we have to select everything first. Come here. I'll go in y direction now. Okay, and in y direction I'm assuming that my foundation is at 1.5 meters, so minus 1.5 I'm going to give. Okay, if I don't do link steps, what will happen? I'll get only the beams replicated like this. Okay, I wanted to connect also, so let me do Control Z. Let me just select the whole thing. Let me click on this y direction, minus 1.5 link steps I'll do. Okay, and let me click on OK. But now if you see I'm getting these beams also, no? If you know, in foundation level we won't have beams, right? This is wrong. So let me use Control Z. Is there any other method that I can use? The answer is yes. Just click on node cursor now. Okay, if you don't want the beams to come, these beams to be selected with you and replicated with you, just select the node cursor, go to the plan view and select the whole thing like this. Then what happens? Only the nodes will get selected. Okay, what was happening earlier? Let me just see. Okay, what was happening earlier? When I was selecting the whole thing, Control A if I do, even beams was getting selected. If I go in Y direction, giving it some value, even beams were getting replicated along with me. Okay, if I do link steps also, see here, everything was coming. I don't want everything to come. I just want the node points to come and the node points to be connected. This are all extra for me. Okay, so I can do Control Z. I'll go to my node point. Control A you can do. If you cannot select the whole thing, just do Control A. Then click on translation repeat. Go to the Y axis, make it minus 1.5. And again, I'm assuming it to be minus 1.5. It can be any value. Then click on link steps and click on OK. All right, we got it very nicely. Okay. Now I want to get in the upper levels also. I want my first story to come, second story, third story, all the stories to come. So how do I do that? So for that you can change your view. Okay, go to any direction. Like in the sideways, you can go and view it any sideways direction. Only two, this one we have. Okay, and then what I want you to do is select it like this. Okay, if you go ahead and select like this, even the beams. Just a second. Okay, if you select it like this, when the beams will get selected, just make sure you're in the upper half mark. Okay, if you just even come a bit lower than that, even the beams will get selected. So just select it like this. Okay, and if you see in 3D, all of them are selected, the bottom part is not. Now click on translation repeat. Again we'll go in y direction, but this time I'm not going to give it negative because I want the floors to come on the upper story. I'll give it 3. Okay, I'll click on link steps and I'll click on OK. Alright, so we got one entire story in the top, and because I did link steps, automatically everywhere where the column was there, we have got a sorry, everywhere where node is there, we have got a column over there. Okay, again right now we can just consider as a link because we have not given any property to it. So again I'll come to a side view. I select the whole thing again. Okay, I'll go for my isometric view, click on translation repeat, y direction. This time I'll increase the steps to 2 or 3. Default step I'll keep it 3. I'll do only, if I don't do link steps, what is going to happen? See, it will come like this. This is wrong. Okay, so Control Z. So doing link steps is very important. Let me just get 3 steps over there, make it 3 link steps and click on OK. Alright, so very quickly what has happened? We have got the entirety of our model done. Okay, now just imagine if you were using node method and doing this. How many rows do we have? We have got 120 rows. So you have to manually set and input all the 120 rows, which is not possible. Okay, it will take a very long time for you to do that. So this is the translation repeat basically. You can even get the repeat in negative. You can get the repeat in y positive direction also. Okay, y, x, any direction you want, you can get positive over there. Okay, let me select the whole thing. Let me just delete it off. Okay, one more thing before we delete it off. So now right now is the best method to actually show you how it looks in this views, different views. See here. Okay, this is our top view. Don't confuse between this and this. This is always our plan view. Okay, whenever you're looking, see majorly we use only two things. This is plan view we use, and we use the isometric view. Okay, so if I make some selection, for example, I go for my side view and I'm making this selection. Okay, that's why we use the side views to make our selection flow story by story. I can click on isometric view and find out, okay, I have selected it properly or not. All right, and if I want to see from plan view, You can see from plan view, whatever you have selected, the one that part will be highlighted. Okay. So, but now the question arises, see if you just want to see this level. Okay, for example, I have got some extra loads coming on it, or maybe I'm deleting some beams from here. Okay, so what basically I can do is to just view that particular floor. Okay, just select this entire thing. Maybe I want to see only this floor, and again you have to make a note that don't come like this. Okay, even the beams will get selected, so you have to be in the upper half and set it like this. Okay, then I come to my isometric view and I'm able to see my floor level. Now I want to see only that particular floor. I don't want to see anything on top. I don't want to see anything on the bottom. So I'll just do right click. Okay, and then I do what? I can click on new view. All right, what I'm doing, right click and new view. It'll ask you, do you want to display the view in the active window? This is the active window just there in the background, or create a new window. We will do both. I'll show you how it looks. So if I do display the view in the active window, I can click OK and get it like this. Okay, if I go for isometric view for this, I mean, sorry, we're in isometric view already. We go for plan view like this. See, it looks like this. Isometric view, it looks like this. There's nothing on the top. There's nothing on the bottom. Okay, so how do I get everything back again? To get everything back, we have a tool here called as display whole structure. Click on this. The whole structure will come back to you. Simple as that. All right, so let me just select this. Let me just select a random floor now. Let me just select this one. Okay, I'll go to my isometric view. Make sure I've selected everything properly. Now I'll right click it and say new view again, but this time I'm not going to do display the view in the active window. I'll click create a new window for the view and click on OK. So what happens, my whole structure is there in the background and I'm able to see here how this particular thing looks. Now this what I just taught you is very important when it comes to checking out your bending moment diagrams and shear force diagrams. Okay, just imagine trying to see bending moment and shear force for the whole structure. It look very messy. You won't be able to understand what is what. Okay, so that point, all you have to do is use this 4 or 5 views. Okay, come in any view that you feel like, just select it up the floor that you want to see. Not just floor, if you want to see even the base, complete base like this, just let me go for isometric view. See, this entire base selected. Okay, right click it and click on new view and click on OK. So this entire thing will come. Then you can go for the front view. Just click on this is the front view, and here you'll be able to see all the this one bending moment diagrams and all the shear force diagrams if you have anything. Okay, so I hope you understood. So this is what I wanted to discuss in this particular class. Okay, so I hope you understood what is translation, repeat, and everything. Just delete everything. Just a second. It will take some time. All right. So what did we do? Very quickly, we'll recap. 0, comma 0 is there. If you want to replicate even this one, you can do it. Translation repeat allows you to do that. I just do this. And one more thing that I want to discuss was exact action, right? I'll do 4 or 5 steps like this. 4 or 5 steps I'm doing. Now I can come and change the points manually. Maybe my second node is at 3. Okay. My fourth node is at 5 or 6. And my seventh node is at 7 something. Okay. All right. I'll do link steps and I'll do OK. See, it'll come like this. Then you want to see the values, go for tools, dimension of beams, and display 3 5 3 6 7. Okay, how easy is that? It hardly took me 10 seconds to do this. Okay, let me just repeat what I did. I have a node like this and I want to replicate this node. Okay, so I'll go for the node cursor first, select the node, go for translation repeat, x direction only. I have a beam, so I'll add number of steps. Okay, depends on the length of my beam, and then I can individually go and change the values 5 3 6 and 8 maybe this time. Okay, I can do that, and by just clicking link steps I'll avoid this entire step altogether. Okay, I don't have to go from node to node and connect it. I'll do link steps and I click on OK, and you can see I have got this. Okay, the same thing can be done if I were to select this entirety of this again. I'll go for translation repeat. I'll go in Z and let me go in minus Z this time. Okay, I'll get 3 to 4 values like this. The first one is at minus 4. This, no, the second one is at minus 3. Okay, then we have minus 2. All right, then we have minus 1. I'll do link steps and I'll do OK. Okay, understood. See here, whatever in the translation repeat, if I go for just a second, tools and display beams and display this. Okay, whatever values you are seeing are between node to node. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. When we were doing this method, we were taking all the values from 0 comma 0 comma 0. Okay, so if we have to get this, let me just select this entirety of it. See here, this node to this node, if I select this particular thing, okay, this is about 0 comma 0 comma 0, right? And this one is what, 0 comma this 5 is there here. Okay, so distance between this and this node is 5, and distance between this and this node is 8. Okay, but when we're doing translation repeat, what do we do? We gave what? We gave 5, 3, 6, and 8 value. We didn't give them the node values, we gave them the distance values. Okay, don't get confused. When we're using node method, we have to give values in coordinate system. When we were doing in translation repeat, you have to just give the distances. It will take care of it. That's what we did here. Okay, so if anyone is confused, let me just repeat what I'm trying to say here. If I select this node, go for translation repeat now. Okay, I'll go in X direction only. Again, I'll increase number of steps here. Individually, whatever value I'm giving. Okay, first one is at 5, second one is at 3, third one is at 4. Okay, and now this is at 6. All right. Now what I want you to pay attention on is that I'm not giving them coordinate values. I'm giving them distance of the nodes from the previous node distance. Okay. All right. From the previous node, what is the distance? I'm giving that much. Link steps I'm doing, and I'm clicking on OK. All right, when I do that, I'm getting this values like this. So if you see here, I didn't give this 5, 8, 12, and 18. Automatically it'll calculate and give it to me what is the distance from this 0, 0, 0. All right, so if I go to tools again and click on this one, display 5, 3, 4, 6. Again, this is the point where students get confused. They start giving the values from here. You don't have to give these values, you have to just give the distances of the beam. Okay, because when we see a plan, in the plan we'll have something that looks like this only. We'll have beam dimensions, we won't have node, and we don't have coordinate systems there. Okay, if I were to show it to you, the practice grid, see here, whenever you have a grid, your grid will look something like this. 5 meters beam is there, then 5 meters, then 7 meters, then 6 meters beam is there. Okay, nowhere we mention them the coordinate, because coordinates on the field will become a mess. Okay, we just give them the grid to the point to point distance we give them. Okay, I hope you understood what translation repeat is. And not only this, you can even go in the negative direction, in the positive direction, in both x and y also you can give negative directions, and even z you can give negative directions. Maybe I'll give some point -4, and I'll just increase it a couple of times. -4. Okay, we will have a couple of stories like this. I'll do link steps and I'll do OK. So you can see this is my 0, 0. This value is my what? 0, 0, 0, and whatever I'm getting in the back is -18. Okay, so I hope you have understood how to work with this coordinate system, because this is the last exercise on coordinate system. Okay, so in the next class, I will be using a practice grid. We'll be creating a practice grid by using translation repeat, and I'll be showing it to you how to do it by using a where did it go? Run structure wizard. Okay, in the next class, we'll be covering these two tools. Okay, how to do this grid by using what? Translation repeat first, and then by what? Run structure wizard. Okay, so after doing that, I'll show you how to assign values and everything to this particular structure. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. See you guys in the next class. Thank you.